And look, like I say on this channel, we hold Caucasian people accountable because you gotta check this out. They'll put cameras in the hood. They'll put cameras in the projects just to make money from it. They don't care about the crime that's happening. They actually love it. They actually need it because they making money from it. They making profit from it. And then they convince everybody in the world, oh, it's only black people committing crimes. So they talk about black on black crime all day, but they never show you what they doing. They never show you what the hospital's doing. They never show you what the cops doing. They never show you what the DA's doing. They never show you what the lawyer's doing. They never show you what they putting in your food. And about 3 weeks ago, I made a video about 3 black women that were unalived while in labor by doctors at Woodhull Hospital. And one of those women was Christine Fields. She was unalived November 13th, 2023. So a year later, I actually saw the vigil they had for her yesterday at the hospital. And if you see this family, you would think this happened yesterday. You would think this happened the same day because they still feel that pain. And this is why I have to make these videos, because I can also feel that pain. I also know that everybody else is going to be celebrating Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and this family will still be stuck in 2023. And what really pissed me off is these doctors, they not arrested, they not in jail, they don't have to go to court. All they do is lose their license, so they say. So they can celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas with no worries. But let you get pulled over with suspended license. Let you get pulled over with some drugs in your car. Let you get pulled over and you resist arrest. They'll damn near unalive you. So when it comes to them, I don't let nothing slide. Y'all can let it slide. I'm not letting it slide. Her family would never be the same again. So this is why I have to make these videos to keep my people alert. So if something like this happened in your family, you can prepare for it. So let's get right into this story. And this from the New York Times. Investigators find hospital error caused mother's death in Brooklyn. Christine Fields, a 30-year-old black woman, bled to death after giving birth at Woodhull Medical Center in Brooklyn. State investigators said the cause was a doctor's mistake. So as a black person, if we make a mistake, what happens? We go to jail. If we make a mistake, we got to go to court. If we make a mistake, we got to be on probation for years and years. If we make a mistake, we lose our kids. If we make a mistake, we go into prison. The first mistake can give you life. The first mistake can give you 40 years. But a doctor, a professional doctor, can make a mistake and unalive multiple black women and their kids and still be out here freely? In New York, black women are 9 times more likely to die in labor more than white women. Is that a coincidence, or are they doing this on purpose? So you guys sit back and wonder, when women say, oh, I don't want to have kids, it makes sense. If you're a black woman, why would you want to have kids in this world when you don't know, when you get on that bed, are you going to get up and go home? Will your baby be okay? Black women in the U.S. have a higher maternal mortality rate than white women. The maternal mortality rate for black women was 49.5 deaths per 100,000 live births, which were higher than the rates for white women, which was 19.0, Hispanic 16.9, and Asian was 13.2. And that was back in 2022. In 2021, black women were 69.9 deaths per 100,000 live births, 2.6 times higher rate than white women. So you trying to tell me, out of all the women, that this is not done on purpose? Black women are leading the deaths in labor. So this is why I do these videos, so y'all can send them to your friends and families who's about to have a baby or who's young and they just not aware like that. Because when you're young, you're not really thinking like this. You got your trust into the doctors. The women putting all their trust into these doctors, and these doctors don't care. I'm not saying all of them, but for the most part, when you black, you got to really be careful when you're dealing with these doctors. Because look, this same doctor, 2 weeks before Christine's death, he unalived another black woman and her baby on the same floor. His name was Dr. Ronald Daniel. He was 72 years old. So they fired him on December the 5th after both of those alive. Not after the first one, but after the second one. they fired him in December of last year. But check this, he wasn't the only doctor. He wasn't the first one. Back in 2020, it was another doctor, and I talked about him in one of my videos. I call him Dr. Seuss. I'm gonna put him right here. But under him, it was 6 women that suffered major complications with anesthesia. 6 women in 3 years. I think like 2 of them passed away. So they had 2 doctors in there unaliving black women. They was going into labor and their kids. And you telling me this is a coincidence? And with Dr. Seuss, the way he was unaliving them is he was sticking the anesthesia in their back. He was sticking it too deep. And he was doing it on purpose because it's a certain amount of inches you gotta stick it. He was going too deep with it. And right now, both of these dudes are walking freely. And to find their pictures, you have to do research. You have to really look, especially Dr. Daniel. So I'm going to say this is allegedly him. I'm not going to say that's all the way him because I don't know. But you have to do your research to find their picture. And they do that on purpose. On November 13th, a 30-year-old mother of 2, Christine Fields, had an emergency C-section amid signs of growing fetal distress. The obstetrician, Dr. Daniel, later filed a report saying there had been no intraoperative surgical complications during the C-section, according to the investigators' findings, suggestions that all was well. So Dr. Daniel told them it was no complications. Everything went well with the labor birth. That's what he told them. But check this out. It was not. Investigators later learned the C-section incision was too long, which can occur from the scalpel or a tear when pulling out the baby. During the C-section, doctors had patched up the injury with scissors and saw no further bleeding at the time. Dr. Daniel did not mention the injury in his surgical report. So during the cut, they messed up. So they tried to patch it up and make it look like it wasn't nothing, but she started bleeding from the inside. And Dr. Daniel did not write this in his report. And these doctors know how deep they got to go with the anesthesia. These doctors know how they got to cut. They professionals. But this dude is 72 years old. Why do you have a 72-year-old doctor? With all these young black doctors, why you have a young black doctor in there doing that incision cut? You got a 72-year-old doctor that's probably racist as hell. He's 72. So it just tripped me out that these doctors don't go to jail, but let you impersonate a doctor like him. Let you become a fake doctor, but you actually know what you're doing, but you impersonating a doctor. You didn't go to school. You didn't give them money. And you got to serve 12 years in jail because you're black. So then I did more research. These black families, it was a Grieving Families Act they trying to get passed. And they've been trying to get this passed, but the Governor Kathy Hochul, she's been turning it down every time. And this act will allow them to sue for emotional suffering, and they'll sue for wrongful death with these hospitals. And I'm going to tell y'all why they won't allow these people to be able to sue for emotional suffering. Because if you sue for emotional suffering and you win $50-60 million, that's creating generational wealth. They can't create generational wealth in New York for black people. They want to keep you in the projects. They want to keep you broke. They want to keep you really suffering in real life. And then I learned that this law hasn't been changed since 1847. So in 1847, our ancestors were slaves. So that's how they still look at us. They don't want you to get millions and millions of dollars. And Governor Kathy Hochul says she's reviewing it, but she already turned it down 2 times. So we don't know. And then I saw from the vigil that they had yesterday, her fiance, Jose Perez, he's suing them for $41 million. So imagine what he's going through. He has to take care of his kids. He has to go to work, and he has to deal with a hospital unaliving his wife while she's having a baby, thinking that he's about to get his baby and his wife to come home, but you leave the hospital after learning she's dead. Think about how they can make a man feel. That right there will make a man really want to crash out on everybody. And it's been a year, so you got no court dates, you got no updates, and you got a whole lawsuit going on. But they don't respect it because it was a black woman. They do it all the time. That's how they look at it. And then you sit back and think, you watch all these other groups of people. They get laws passed for them. They get certain acts to protect them. But when it comes to us, we have to continue to fight and fight. It gets turned down and turned down every time. Because like I tell y'all, they make money from our problems. They make money from unaliving us. They have to do it. So this why I have to keep making videos like this, because I wasn't thinking like this when I was in my 20s. I am now because I'm learning. These people don't care about black people. These people don't fuck with you. So when you going into labor, do your research on these doctors. Let them know, hey, I know where you live at. Let them know, oh, I know your family. Oh, you got a beautiful wife. I saw on Facebook. Let them know. Do your research so they can have in the back of their head, damn, if something happened to this man's wife, he's crashing out on my family. They need to know that, because a lot of times we put too much trust into these doctors. And a lot of these doctors grew up racist. They grew up hating black people. So we got to move differently. We got to let them know, look, I know where you live at. I know what kind of car you drive. I know what school you went to. Oh, I know the woman you cheating with. Oh, I know your mother. Let them know this stuff so they can have in their back of their head. Okay, let me do this right. They not the one to play with. You really gotta let these people know that you're not the one to play with. When it comes to your family, you have to let them know that. And then in the video I made 3 weeks ago, I had some women telling me about midwives. I don't really know too much about midwives, but do y'all research on that. Talk to people about that, because as black people, our ancestors did stuff differently. They didn't really mess with the hospitals like that. So do your research on midwives and make sure you do it right, but do your research on that. And I'm gonna put her fiance, Jose Perez, I'm gonna put his GoFundMe account right here. So, if y'all want to send something to the brother, that's cool, man, because you gotta think about his wife passed away, and if you look at their pictures, they look beautiful together. They look like they was really in love. Like, that's a family. And for a man to lose the woman he loved, bro, a man will never be the same again. For him to lose her that way, he will never be the same. And I can feel that pain. So if y'all want to give something to the brother, that's cool, man, because who knows how long it would take him to even, start this lawsuit process, because these people don't care, man. And again, rest in peace to Christine Fields. You will not die in vain. We're not letting you die without keep talking about this story. We're going to keep exposing this hospital. I'm going to put it right here. I want y'all to go read those reviews. Why is this hospital still up? Why is this hospital still running? Why is these doctors still operating? I don't trust none of them. And I'm going to leave y'all with this. Her mom said, I have a hole in my heart. So while y'all celebrating Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's people that can never celebrate it the way they want to, because these people are unaliving our black women. These people are unaliving our black people, and they just moving on with life like it never happened. But when it comes to me, look, if I can't sleep, you can't sleep. And to the family of Christine, I want y'all to remember that. If y'all can't sleep the way you want to sleep, don't let these people sleep in peace. I will be at their hospital every week in front of it, doing whatever I can do to get this ball moving, to get this lawsuit moving. I will not let them sleep in peace. I'm out.